When we first moved into the house, it felt like a dream come true. The kids raced through the empty rooms, their laughter echoing off the bare walls. My wife, Sarah, and I exchanged glances filled with relief and excitement. Finally, we had our own space, a place where our family could grow and make memories. It was a charming old house, the kind with character and quirks. The backyard was spacious, perfect for our children to play in, and the front lawn was just the right size for weekend barbecues and a garden. Our neighbors were welcoming, and life seemed perfect. A few days into settling in, I noticed something strange. Every morning, the lawn was freshly cut. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe the previous owners had a lawn service scheduled. I asked around, but none of our neighbors knew anything about it. They all had their own lawn services, and no one had seen anyone on our property. I shrugged it off, figuring it would sort itself out. Maybe it was a mix-up, and the lawn service would stop coming once they realized the previous owners had moved. But days turned into weeks, and every morning, the lawn was always perfectly trimmed, the grass neat and even. Sarah found it amusing at first, joking that we had a mysterious gardener. The kids, too, thought it was a funny mystery. But as time went on, it started to bother me. I didn't like not knowing who was on our property, especially at night. I felt a creeping unease every time I looked out at the pristine lawn, wondering who was taking care of it. One evening, I decided enough was enough. I told Sarah I was going to stay up all night to catch whoever was cutting our lawn. She rolled her eyes but agreed, more to humor me than anything else. I set up a chair by the living room window with a clear view of the front yard, armed with a flashlight. The hours ticked by slowly. Midnight came and went, and the only sounds were the occasional car passing by and the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. I must have dozed off at some point because when I woke it was still dark. I checked my watch, 3 a.m. I rubbed my eyes and looked out the window, my heart pounding with anticipation. At first I saw nothing, just the shadowy outline of our yard, the moon casting a pale glow over the grass. But then, movement caught my eye. I leaned forward, squinting into the darkness. There, near the edge of the lawn, was an old man. The old man moved with an aged stride, his back hunched as he guided a hand-pushed lawnmower across the lawn. I watched, frozen in place, as he worked methodically, the blades whirring softly as they sliced through the grass. Who the hell uses a manual lawnmower? I wondered. My pulse quickened. I grabbed my flashlight and walked outside, flicking it on. The beam of light cut through the darkness, landing squarely on the old man. Immediately, the old man looked up, saw the light, and walked away, disappearing into the woods before I could get a good look at him. I stood there, rooted to the spot, the flashlight beam wavering as my hand shook. What the hell had I just seen? I wanted to believe it was a dream, some weird hallucination brought on by lack of sleep. But the freshly cut grass the next morning told me otherwise. Sarah was skeptical when I told her what happened. She suggested it was a prank, maybe some neighbor's idea of a joke. But I knew what I saw. There was something strange about the old man. Something didn't seem right. Determined to get to the bottom of this, I decided to try filming the old man the next night. I got my phone ready and did some test filming, aiming it right at the spot where I had seen him before. As the evening came, I was ready to get to the bottom of this once and for all. At 3 a.m., the old man appeared again. He moved with the same old grace, the hand-pushed lawnmower glinting in the moonlight. I watched, fascinated and horrified, as he trimmed the grass with precise, almost ritualistic movements. I checked the camera feed the next morning, but the footage was gone. I was sure I recorded everything, but the cloud storage must have gotten full. I couldn't explain it. I couldn't recall the phone warning me about the memory being full. As the weeks went on, the old man continued to appear every night. And every morning, our lawn was perfectly cut. I began to fear the nights, feeling a growing sense of dread at the thought of seeing him again. I felt like I was living in a dream, trapped in a loop of confusion. Whenever I tried to approach him, he just walked away. I did some research, trying to find any mention of similar occurrences of the man in the area, but I found nothing. No legends, no old stories. It was as if our house was the only one affected by this. Then, one morning, it had all stopped. The lawn was no longer perfectly trimmed, and there was no evidence of the old man's presence. The following mornings were the same. The old man had stopped. Our lawn, growing wildly, was no longer cut at night by the man. It seemed like he had simply disappeared, leaving us with an uncut lawn and a lot of unanswered questions. Life went on. We hired a regular lawn service, but I never quite got over the strangeness of those months. I stopped trying to find answers, stopped questioning why he was there or why he left. It became a peculiar part of our home's history, a story to tell in hushed tones during late-night conversations. As the years passed, the house became filled with new memories. The kids grew up, and the lawn remained immaculate, a silent testament to our mysterious caretaker. Sometimes late at night, I would sit by the window and look out over the lawn, feeling a sense of gratitude and connection to that strange period in our lives.